Okay, everybody, I had a question about 9.2 Math Excel. Somebody emailed that if possible to walk you through at least the first question just to make sure that the axis of symmetry is the one that we need to use. All right, so let's try number 1. So we're supposed to graph that function y is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 5. Well, the first thing I wanted you to do was I wanted you to see if you could remember the a, the b, and the c, right? So the a is what we call the leading coefficient, so it's going to be the one attached to the x but not the x. So your x in front of it is invisible, so my a is a positive 1. The b is the coefficient attached to an x to the first power, so I can see that my b is negative 2. And then this last number here, which we call a constant, is our c, so that's going to be 5. Okay, well, if we're going to use 9.2, we need to solve and graph using the equation of the axis of symmetry. And here's the formula for it. X is equal to negative b over 2a. So what am I solving for first? The x. So it says negative b. Well, my b happens to be negative 2. So I'm going to plug in a negative 2 for my b. Next one is 2 times the a. Well, a happens to be a 1, right? So solving this, negative times a negative, that's going to be a positive. 2 times 1, that's going to be a 2. So I can simplify my x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I just found my x. My x is 1. Remember, this x is called your axis of symmetry. So your axis of symmetry is the broken line right here on your x. You don't have to do this in Math Excel, but if you're doing it on your paper, remember it's going to be right here, and that's where the vertex is going to be. Okay, so let's talk about the next step. The next step is after I find my x, I need its partner. I need the y because I need an ordered pair for a vertex. How do I solve for that y? Well, I already have the x, so I'm going to substitute, as we call it, the x in this equation. So x is going to be 1 minus 2. Here's x again, so I'm going to replace that with a 1 again, plus 5. Okay, and then PEMDAS will tell me to do 1 times 1 first, which is a 1, negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2, plus 5. All right, PEMDAS will tell me to just do left to right because it's just adding and subtracting. So 1 minus 2, that's negative 1, plus 5. Simplifying that, negative 1 plus 5 is going to be positive 4. So I have an x that's a 1 and a y that's a 4. So if I write this as my ordered pair, I'm going to write it up here, 1 and 4. Okay, so we go back to this one. This is our axis of symmetry. That's going to be in a positive 1 and a positive 4. So I'm going to put my dot right there. All right, doesn't look like a parabola yet because I need another dot to either make it go up or go down. Well, in our previous lesson, we looked at our A to tell us if it's a minimum or a maximum, or what we call a smiley or a frowny. Well, the A is a positive A, so we know it's going to be belling upward. So it's going to be right here. I just need another dot. All right, so since we already used x as a 1, what else can we use as an x so that we could solve for the y? Remember the tip I gave you? This is the easiest x that you could use. If you don't have an x that's a 0, replace your x with a 0, so it's easier mathematically to solve for its ordered pair, or the y. So let's try that. X is going to be 0 to the second power, right? Minus 2, 0, plus 5. Okay, this is easy enough because anything multiplied to a 0 will be 0. Negative 2 times 0, it's still a 0, so this whole thing's 0. So it's kind of like 0 plus 5, right? So y is going to be 5. All right, here's my x. here's my y. Guess what? I found another ordered pair. So that's going to be 0 and 5. So here's x0 in the 0 part, and y5 is a positive. It's going to be on this portion. I know it's a tiny bell, but it's still there. And then all you have to do is reflect. In Math Excel, it will actually just reflect it for you. So if you notice, okay, it's belling up, so we're correct because the leading coefficient is a positive a. Okay, and this is what it should look like on your Math Excel page. Okay, hope that helps.